what you were talking about, bro. Skull Nation never out of it.
Well. I love being right. Let's just be real. How about them Bears? Oh, man. Talk about a bunch of shit bums that thought their fucking mediocre roster and inexperienced team and new coach was going to fucking be the difference. Jesus Christ, how dense do you got to be? Good Lord, boys and girls. Instant reaction. Them Bears. Woo-wee. Well, I just want to say that my 5 key factors to the win for this game were exactly the things that ended up being the factors that made a difference. Let's think about it. I said the number one thing that's going to be the most important freaking key to victory was going to be how the Minnesota Vikings roster and their experience was going to be the factor. We weren't going to see a ton of growing pains. We're going to see a very minimal careless mistakes, careless penalties. And we were just going to see a more poised team, which was going to give all the time in the world to old JJ McCarthy to sit in the pocket and or just be back there and kind of grow into himself. And guess what? You know what? I'm not going to lie. I thought he was going to light up a little bit sooner. I thought the defense was going to get us a nice early defensive score, and it was just going to create a snowball effect for JJ to kind of get in the mood, and he's going to end up with a lot more possessions, and he was going to gain that confidence through time. So it didn't play out the way that I expected it to play, but the core fundamental key foundational piece or factors that I was talking about made the fucking difference. Number one, the strength of this roster. In general, the roster and the talent that we have, plus the coaching staff and the ability to get this team ready and be able to overcome adversity, just like we saw last season. This game was very much like one of those rough wins, ugly wins that we had last year. It was a tremendous sign of preparation and this team being there to support our rookie quarterback. As a result, we were able to stay into it. It was 6-10 going into the locker rooms. That doesn't happen by chance. That doesn't happen by luck. It doesn't happen. Well, there was a little bit of the Bears kind of suck there, but at the end of the day, it's a sign that the team was able to do like what I said they were going to do. And then number 2, I said the O-line had to be strong. They had to play better. I didn't say they were going to play perfect because we have a whole bunch of new players on the field when it comes to our interior O-line, on top of the fact that Christian Darrisaw ended up getting ruled out. So that was going to be a factor. I just said we need to play like 80% as good as we can. We just need to be there. They need to just produce and minimize the growing pains and the mistakes to as little as they can, because if we do so, that it's going to put us in a good position because of what I thought the Bears were going to do. And the next key thing, the key factor was the running backs, or maybe it was B-Flow in the defensive scheme and his ability to kind of get the best out of players. It might have been, I can't remember if it went 3-4 that way, but either way, the 3 and 4 was the stable that we had at running back. And although we didn't get the production that we wanted in the first half, we ended up getting a lot of freaking explosive runs down the line from Jordan Mason. Like I thought he was going to be a big factor. That's why I made him my X factor. And guess what? In those drives, he played a big factor and was a big reason to why JJ was able to do what he was able to do. And then Brian Flores, I said, hey, he's got to come in here. He's got to show me something a little bit different in those situations when last year he kind of locked up and he kind of went vanilla. What is he going to do this year? Right? He got the team ready. We had a great pass rush, and the defense kept us in this game, and it stopped these Bears from letting the game get out of hand. Brian Flores did it again. And last but not least, I said that our superstars had to be difference makers. JJ Hawkinson put in with a couple crucial catches that kind of kept drives alive at times and probably helped towards contributing to the confidence that JJ was slowly building in this game. And then JJ, incredible touchdown. Aaron Jones, what a catch on the wheel route from the backfield. Come on. Our superstars came in and played big. Jordan Mason ran for a bunch of yards at the end there and broke away for some big yards, like 17, 18-yard runs when the Bears were doing everything in their power to stop the bleeding. So you know what? I'm happy that I was right. The difference makers were the difference makers, like I said. And most importantly, one of the biggest factors that I kept harping on this week is I was like, why is everybody focusing in on this freaking matchup and what freaking the Bears can do here and what freaking Ben Johnson can freaking do? I said, you guys are looking at the micro too much because it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that there's going to be some factors in here that are going to be too much for the Bears to overcome. I said they're going to be a brand new team, a team with a whole bunch of brand new things going on. They have a brand new head coach. They got brand new coordinators. They have freaking brand new coaching staff in a whole bunch of different areas, defensive and offensive, with DA being over there now, right? So there's going to be this era of like, there's going to be a ton of careless mistakes, unforced errors, and penalties. And what freaking happened, ladies and gentlemen? That was 11 penalties for 127 yards. I don't even got to pull up the stats. The Bears are who I thought they were. They're a 8-win team. They are still at least a year or two away from becoming a playoff team. A playoff team, a good play, even a mediocre playoff team would have beat us today. That's a fact. We didn't show up for 3 quarters and we let JJ kind of get into rhythm. I don't know if that was part of the plan. It was kind of like scripted to the max, and they were like, we're going to freaking cram a whole bunch of developmental plays throughout this entire first half, regardless of what the score says. And we're going to play. I don't know if that was the game plan. If that was the game plan, KOC, you're a genius, because that was some 4D chess. But despite that, the better roster, the better team, with all the advantages, won. And the biggest factor was all the mistakes that were going to be too much for the Bears to overcome. 127 yards in penalty yards is fucking terrible for a playoff team, especially a Super Bowl team, according to Nick Wright, or freaking a Super Bowl contender, according to some of these dumbass Bears fans that I've been seeing in my fucking chat. Because, you know, look at this. It's crickets. Crickets. We got crickets. I don't see no Bears fans in the chat right now. I wonder why. Because regardless of whether we won or lost, I would have been here. I don't see no fucking Bears fans now bearing down. You know, you guys bear down and you guys fucking had your best shot. And you couldn't even fucking beat a team that came at you at the very end when we want to fucking narrow it down to fucking a throwaway line. You couldn't beat a team that only put up a fucking quarter's worth of fucking offense. A so-called Super Bowl team by Bears fans fucking metrics. You guys are fucking brain dead. And let's fucking give it up for 6-Shooter Nation in the fucking chat. Thanks for hanging out for me, man. We are reacting to this instant classic. What a debut by JJ McCarthy. It wasn't fucking flashy. It wasn't crazy. I thought that JJ was going to struggle. I thought he was going to basically how it played out is essentially what I thought it was going to be. But like, it didn't play out. It played out opposite to what I expected. So it comes to another prediction that I made. I said this season feels like a season where we're gonna see a lot of games that we're gonna be like, oh yeah, the hands down, this team's gonna win, or these situations are gonna come up where this narrative is gonna over dominate this other narrative, and it's gonna be so simple on like when it comes to football math. But then when the game is going to be played, it's going to look completely different and almost even the opposite. And then somehow at the very end, it's going to fucking fall into place as we expected. This game is kind of evidence of that. I expected us to have the defensive uh, turnover in the first half to kind of give that extra cushion to us and then play from the lead, like we've done so many games in the past. But that's not the case. And you know what? It's okay because all our personnel, our special teams came in, right? Every single our strength of roster was on full display tonight. Our defense played lights out. We kept this team from putting points up on the board. Our freaking special teams came up with some huge kick returns as well as some a timely blocked field or a blocked punt that gave us some really nice field position. They gave JJ all the freaking like they gave JJ literally no pressure starting from where he was. So the team showed up for this young man, and although the young man had a rough start, and go back and look at and watch in the zone podcast's watch party for the game, because I was on there. I didn't want to stream it on the channel because I didn't want to. I wanted to wait until the very end to give you guys my gloating session, if you will. But you can see the entire game. I kept saying, "Hey guys, just relax. There's nothing to worry about here. We're the better team. Things are going to work out the way that they are." This is what happens when you bank on probabilities instead of possibilities. These dumbass Bears fans were banking on the possibility that they had a Super Bowl fucking contending team because they got themselves Ben Johnson and they got all these really talented players. But guess what? Just like the Redeem team found out back in whatever 2000 fucking 13 or 11 or whatever the fuck that was, where the chemistry isn't fucking bought and paid for. It takes a lot more than an off season or a little bit of time together before a season starts for things to really gel to the point where you're playing at the efficiency of a dominant playoff team. Last year, our strength of roster took the opportunities that we had and put Sam Darnold in a hell of a position. In the zone podcast right there, Mr. Zoe, I'm telling you, man. So that strength of the team is more and more gonna show throughout the season that is one of the biggest factors to why Sam Darnold had a great season. It's a big reason why we had so much success today late in the game. There's a reason why this team didn't give up. There were so many fucking games last season where we shot ourselves in the foot or everything looked like were hopeless, and we came out with a win. A lot of people said it was a fluke. A lot of people said whatever they wanted to say. But what I kept saying is that those situations are going to be fucking crucial for this year. Because when we are in situations like that with a rookie quarterback at the helm that is struggling or whatever, or we're behind, we're going to have to draw upon these experiences and these ability to turn in that confidence that's continuing to build with this team, because we did it last year when people thought we were going to lose and people were shutting off the game and people were tweeting, "Oh, it's fucking over. Look at this. Same old fucking Vikings." We were fucking believing in ourselves, and those experiences came in fucking clutch tonight. That roster didn't give up. Everyone, that from the coaching staff, everything, the preparation that Josh McCown in the quarterback room and everybody had to put in to help JJ McCarthy get ready today must have been unreal. Let's not forget an unsung hero. I wonder what Carson Wentz told JJ McCarthy at halftime. I'm sure all the quarterbacks were there, maybe whatever, The guy's got some freaking experience dealing with some pretty big heartaches and some pretty big adversity. He was there for a very improbable Super Bowl run. I'm sure Carson Wentz has some valuable nuggets of information for this kid. And I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out that Carson Wentz had a little bit of a pep talk and kind of gave him a little bit of perspective that kind of helped JJ stay in the right state of mind and push for that victory. But hey, you know what? The man showed some nerves. Let's be real. But he turned it around. He didn't fill the stat sheets like Sam Darnold did, but just like Sam Darnold did last year, when the game got tough and we needed him to perform, JJ McCarthy performed tonight. It wasn't beautiful. It wasn't spectacular. He didn't put up 300 yards and 5 touchdowns like we would have loved to have seen out of a debut and a pure destruction of these Bears. But what we did see is a young man enter a game and be at times looked like he was over his head and maybe he was losing some confidence. But he pushed through, he persevered. He whatever the coaching staff and his teammates did or didn't do or didn't say, you know what I mean? Like if they weren't melting down, that alone might have been enough confidence for JJ McCarthy to just go out there and freaking light it up. At one point, it was like he just stopped caring and just started playing football. And in that fourth quarter, he came alive. And he put up 2 touchdowns through the air and a freaking one through a running touchdown. Let's be real. If the Vikings would have got back in the game through defensive touchdowns and we would have run the clock out and JJ would have ended up with like 73 yards, one interception, no touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of like 36 or some bullshit, it would have been a whole different story. But JJ McCarthy freaking stared down the barrel and he did not quit and did not let himself fail us, Vikings Nation. And I'm extremely proud of this Minnesota Vikings team. And let me hear you, Bears fans, in the comments section. Because they went down exactly like I said. You guys don't know what you don't know. You guys are going to have so many freaking mistakes that it's going to cost you the game. What happened, man? 11 fucking penalties, 127 yards. You guys, the Bears, were just as much a factor at keeping us in the game as our incredible play on the field from all areas of this team. So let's go, boys. We're 1-0. Skol Vikings. We're on our way to fucking 2-0. I'm going to be in Minnesota next week for home opener. We're going to be at Skol Fest. I really hope to see everybody. Please don't hesitate to say hi. Let me know what your username is. And I cannot wait to see you guys for tomorrow's fucking live because I'm going to be reacting with a little bit more nuance, hopefully, or maybe I just might be shit talking. I don't know. It's a fucking benefit that you get to have when you have a fucking top tier fucking roster and organization and coaching staff. Again, we're the fucking best roster and coaching staff in the division, and in my opinion, in the NFC. Let's go, baby. Skol Vikings. Let's go. 1-0. Skol to the bowl, baby.